We are living in insane times. Like purveyors of a bad Orwellian joke, the religious right and right-wing politicians have hijacked the meanings of justice and equity and cynically perverted them into their opposites. The Hebrew Bible and the Gospel of Jesus both command all who hold them dear to care for the poor, to care for the weak, the vulnerable. Yet right-wing politicians and prosperity preachers shamelessly interpret the Bible in ways that serve America's rich and ignore the suffering of its poor. Right-wingers piously proclaim themselves to be pro-life Christians, yet their concern for life seems to wane at the womb. Their pro-life piety cuts funding for childhood care and education, treats undocumented immigrants like lesser forms of life, and hungers after unprovoked wars of domination, while casually speaking in murderous metaphors and loudly advocating homicidal assault weapons and, quote, Second Amendment remedies. These Christians and people of faith routinely and quite publicly shed tears for love of God and country, yet fight tooth and nail against consumer regulations that would protect the future well-being of their fellow citizens from the devastation that Wall Street has wrought upon them in the past. They give preferential treatment to the very richest Americans, holding corporate interests as sacrosanct, while doing their utmost to dismantle the safety net that is the last line of aid and succor for the struggling American masses. Although the Hebrew Bible enjoins honesty and truthfulness in social as well as in personal dealings, right-wing prognosticators cynically purvey untruths and distortions of political realities daily, Fox News, with whole television networks at their disposal. The hegemonic reach of their influence has become so great that they have convinced untold millions of rank-and-file Americans to support attitudes, measures, and policies that actually militate against their own interests. As a result of these machinations, the religious right and right-wing politicians now largely control the terms of political and religious discourse in America with bizarre and unconscionable results. Poor people scream bloody murder against policies that seek to make American economic life more fair and equitable for all. And those enjoying the fruits of trade unionist sweat, tears, and actual blood now not only demonize unions outright, but also valorize union busters as heroes. In essence, right-wing religionists have thoroughly domesticated the radical pronouncements of the biblical prophets and Jesus' good news to the poor and woe to the unjustly rich. They have given us instead an ungodly melange of religious obfuscation and ideological confusion that actually considers social and justice to be profane words when used together. And their pernicious influence seems to increase daily, spreading throughout the church and society, virtually unchecked by truth or reality or even by the Bible they claim as a central adjudicator of their faith. Sort of, I think, a way to frame.
That's a heck of a way to frame some stuff, man. Please. And it seems to align itself directly with this moment, this neoliberal economic moment, where we see privatization, where we see a stronger stress on the individual versus the collective, where we see market-based solutions to everything. And then suddenly you have in mainstream Christendom, and certainly in the black church, this rise of prosperity gospels, word faith movements, the whole nine. You know, now, help me think through that. First, what is prosperity gospel? Help us walk through that for those who may not exactly.
Well, the prosperity anti-gospel is
I like that.
Is essentially it's built on what they call this New Thought movement, started in the 19th century, unity churches and all that. That says that we are co-creators of our reality with God, which has to do with meditation and visualization and those kinds of things. Things that are very important, to do. It's state of mind is important, right? I mean, if you're negative and you expect the worst to happen, often it does. And just the opposite, if you expect the best and you're always optimistic, something I'm struggling with day to day.